Hello cake lovers, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be baking a vanilla cake using our hand mix without the help of a hand mixer nor a cake mixer, and also we'll be using the local pattern of baking. That is, instead of us using oven, we'll be using our regular pot or pan and our cooking gas. So starting off with the cake, I used Napa butter, a sachet butter, 250 grams. This recipe is actually cost effective. I think I baked this cake with less than, I don't think it was up to 3,000 naira. If I do the costing, I don't think it's up to. And the recipe was super nice. The cake came out really soft and fluffy at the same time. So for those that are always complaining of not having enough finance to get a cake mixer or a hand mixer or an oven, this recipe is for you. So just stay put and enjoy the process. So I'll be making use of my hand mix. So all you need is your hand mix and a mixing bowl. Any mixing bowl would work, irrespective of. Some people will be like, do I need just a stainless bowl, or I can use my regular? Any bowl can work, but you need a strong hand mix. This, I think I got this in the market for about 1,500 naira. So that's all you need. If you have this, then you're good to go. I started off by mixing my butter firstly before adding in the sugar. This is to loosen the butter a bit. You know, we just got the butter from the market and it's still very will I say blocked, like it hasn't been loosened. So this first process is to loosen the butter and make it a little bit soft before adding in the sugar. Don't make the mistake of putting the butter and the sugar at the same time. If not, it would make your work more tedious. Like your baking, your mixing process might take a lot of time and it will be stressful on your own end. So make sure you first of all mix with your hand mix before going in with your sugar. So I did this for about 5 minutes thereabouts, I think, but that 5 minutes is a reasonable amount of time for you to use. So just continue mixing, and when you see that the butter is a little bit pale in color, then you can add in your sugar. So the sugar is about 150 grams. And for those that will say, I don't have a scale, what can I use, Ami? 150 grams should be equivalent to a cup, but the cup won't be full to the brim. If you're using the cup I used at the beginning part, it will be beneath the line, but I would advise you get a scale. That will make your work a lot easier. So we'll just be mixing. So in this video, a lot of secrets will be revealed on how to get a very soft, fluffy and mouth-watering vanilla cake. Irrespective of when we're not using an oven or a hand mixer or a cake mixer, doesn't mean our cake would come out hard. No, because of the pattern and the recipe I am using, my cake still came out really soft. And even when I gave it out for people to taste and they were like, did I really bake this without an oven? I was like, yes. And people were like, oh, it's so nice, it's so soft. So I was like, yeah, thank you very much. So that's the thing. So when it comes to cake as a whole, it's not just in the pattern of your mixing. Yes, you're mixing. You see how I'm taking a lot of time mixing or creaming my butter and sugar. The reason is because this process entails, it is the powerhouse of the cake. If I don't mix this very well, my cake will not come out soft. It will come out hard. So You have to cream for about, after adding your sugar, you have to cream for like 5 to 10 minutes more to make it very very soft. When you see that everything is fully incorporated and it's really creamy and it's looking pale in color, then you can now start adding in your egg. So the egg now comes in one at a time, not all at once. So one at a time. Once you add one, you mix. So that process, I was checking my consistency, like okay, I'm good to go. And at this point, everything is looking nice and clean. So I added the egg one at a time. Don't be tempted to adding the whole egg at the time. No. That what makes the cake airy and makes it rise really well and makes the cake come out very very soft. So when you add, you mix. When you add, you mix. When you add, you mix. This is the secret that most bakers won't tell you. Yes, the reason why your cake comes out hard and another baker's cake comes out really soft, it's not because you're using a bad recipe. No, it's just because there's some things, there's some procedures you are skipping. There are some necessary procedures that you are not adding in your process that is making the difference. So this is one of them. The way you add in your eggs in your batter matters a lot. Trust me, I won't cajole you. It matters a lot, and this is something that many bakers won't tell you. But stay put. Yeah, a lot of secrets is going. Like I said, a lot of secrets is going to be revealed in this video. You're not just learning how to bake. I know some people that will be seeing this video are pros in baking, but there are some things that you feel it's minimal, but it will make a difference in your cake. So back to what we're doing. Back to the video actually. So we just kept on mixing and mixing and mixing and mixing. After adding in the eggs, what goes in next would be your liquid milk and your flavor. The flavor is there to kill the effect of the egg smell. You know, normally egg has this smell it gives, and some people don't like it. So the flavor will be there to like kill it, to like at least reduce the smell. Like you won't be perceiving, not when you're eating your cake and you're perceiving the smell of egg and all of that. And there is salt in this recipe. Why? Some people be like, why is there salt? Like there's salt in the recipe because salt serves as preservative, making the cake not going bad like immediately or after 2 days. This cake can stay up to 3 to 4 days at least. Yeah, especially 3 days. It can. I'm very sure of 3 days. It can stay 3 days even without being in the fridge or freezer. And one way you can preserve your cake, let me chip this in, is by putting it in the fridge. So fridge actually makes the lifespan of your cake to last more. You understand? It expands. Yes, that's in English. It is the lifespan of your cake. So after adding in the milk, you just stir. Back to the video now. You stir, then you add in the vanilla flavor before adding in your flour. So for the flour, we're using 250 gram in cup. That's about is equivalent to about, let's say, 2 cups. You understand? So this is the flavor. I use the vanilla flavor. You can use any flavor of your choice, any flavor you wish to, but it's just ideal that, okay, since we're making vanilla cake, let's just use vanilla flavor. So you just mix this till everything is fully incorporated, and you see that baking is actually very easy. Even as we're using our hand to do the whole mixing, it's still very easy because we have the right recipe. Everything is looking the way it should because of the right recipe and the right procedure. We're not skipping any parts. So we'll be adding in our flour. We have about 2 cups of flour, but we'll be adding in 1 cup first, then mixing it together. Yes, the flour also follows the same process as the egg. When you're adding your flour, it's advisable you don't put everything at once. you divide it into 2 to 3 equal parts, then you put it batch by batch. Then following the flour will be our baking powder and our salt. So you measure out your baking powder. Your baking powder is about 1 teaspoon also. Then make sure it's being leveled out. Don't just heap it up and put it in directly. No, it will be too much. And you know, baking powder also makes your cake comes out hard. Yes, and to give you a dense cake. So you don't want to. I'm sure you don't want that. So to avoid that, just ensure that everything is well measured. I would also make a video on how to accurately measure out your ingredients if it's necessary. So if you know you don't know how to measure, you can comment below that, please, we need a video on how to measure, and I would make out time to do that, because measurement is key. I won't lie to you, measurement is key. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please, I'm sure you've learned one or two from this video. Even if you're a pro baker, I'm sure there's some things you have been doing wrong or you don't even know that you've seen in this video. Please subscribe to our channel, help a young baker grow. Like our video, share our video. You can also tell us, you can also drop some baking tips in the comment section that could help other people. No one is above mistake. No one have gotten there yet. Everybody is still in the learning process. So there are some things you might say that might help a baker. Remember, we're in this together. Everybody should look out. We are all brothers and sisters in the baking industry. So if I know something that would help you, why won't I help? If you know something that will help me, why shouldn't you help? I feel life is about give and take. As I'm giving out, I'm sure someone too will be giving to me. Like, some people will be ready. I know some people will be willing to help me. Like, yeah, sometimes people come to my DM and say, Ami, do you know this? Do you know that? And I'll be like, oh, I'm really grateful. So back to our video. We're using salt. So the idea is that you can get your cooking pot or anything. I was in my bakery, so I didn't have a very big pot that could take my pan, because my pan are a bit high. So the olden days pattern was you can use sand, but I find sand has its own disadvantage. One, I don't like the smell it gives, and imagine if sand should enter your cake. That's another story you don't want to tell your customers. So I just resort to salt. Salt too is very tricky. Another option I would advise is, if you have like I don't know how to call it, is it burner, that thing that is always on your gas head, you can remove it and place it directly at your pot, in your pot. Or you can use what's it called, anything that will not just make the pan be in direct contact with the pot. You can use it. So you can use, is it burner? There's this iron thing that is always at the gas head. It should be burner. It's iron like this. Like, some people have it on their stove, some people have it on their gas. I don't know, I'm forgetting the name. You can use that also. You can use salt. You can still use sand. If you feel sand is okay. You can get what's it called? There's another thing too you can use. So just anything that will make your pan to stand without having a direct touch with the bottom of your pot can be used. Yes. And also, let's not forget, there is a myth that they said if you are using maybe a turning stick to mix your butter and your sugar, you have to do it one way. Please, all those ones are myth. It doesn't affect your cake anything. Just, if you like, do different pattern, different direction, your cake will still come out nice. So you okay, I used the size 6 pan. I just added butter to my pan. I buttered the pan. Then, to reduce the effect of the butter for my cake not to come out too oily, I'm dusting it with a little bit of flour, and that's it. There's no much problem in this one. What else? Yeah, you can use parchment paper too if you know how to work with that. But I feel parchment paper, I'm trying to be rational here, so I'm not doing anything that will cost me too much. I'm just trying to be rational. So my leftover butter I just added it to my pan, then dust it with a little bit of flour. So I baked this twice because I didn't want to take a lot of time. So I baked it twice in my 6 pan. So this is the first one. The second one, I don't think I videoed that part, but this was it. I just added not too. I didn't fill it to the brim. Oh, please and please, your cake will stay long if it has too much butter. Yes, just know that. So that's why I divided my butter into two, because I didn't want to take the whole day just baking one cake and it will come out really burnt. Remember, it's oven. We're not using oven. We're using pot method. And if you want your gas to last, look at where my own is. My own is at the quarter, and I just use. Reason I used foil was because I was not using a pot, so that pan doesn't have a cover, so I just used foil. I just improvised, and it still worked though, but it was really stressful when I wanted to check if the cake was ready or not. The foil was so hot and I regretted using it though. If I only had a bigger pot, I would have worked with that. So when doing yours or when making yours, please use a bigger pot and ensure the heat is low. It should not be too high, if not your cake will get burnt without it getting baked inside. So it shouldn't be too high, it should just be moderate. I baked mine for like 45 minutes. Yeah, it took that long. Yes, and this was it. I checked it with skewer while it was still baking. So I checked it. I tried opening it, and after like 30 minutes I checked it. I needed some minutes and I left it for like 15 minutes extra, and this was like the outcome. It was very, very hot. So please, once you bring it out from your from your gas, don't touch it immediately. Just leave it there to cool off a bit. You don't want to get burnt. I left mine to cool off for about 20 to 25 minutes before I started touching it because it was so hot. So let's trying to like remove it from my. You have to be very careful. I use salt, and anything salt, when the salt is too much, if it should touch the cake, is another problem for me. So I ensure that the whole salt was not coming close to the cake at all. That's why I didn't use my this thing immediately. I didn't use my board immediately. I used a foil paper that I could see the salt. Then I just removed it. So this was it. Ta-da! 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 You see how it's looking like? Yeah, it's not. You can still give this to your customers. Yeah, because it was really, really nice. For you that don't like burnt cake, just ensure your heat is very, very low. For very, 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 very low. Then if you want it to be more browny, then you can leave it for a while. Maybe you bake for like 50 minutes. But ensure your heat is low and it's not too high. If not, your cake will get burnt without it getting cooked. So this was it. This was the result. Yeah, unfiltered. This was how it came out like. So this is how it feels. This is the result baking with a pot and using salt as a means to bake. So if you've stayed to this point in time of this video, kudos to you, and good luck. I really pray and hope that you get it very easy. I feel most people will do better than me, because me, I was all shaking and all of that. So thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye.